You probably still remember how you had to beg for new toys to convince your parents when you were a child. The children in this video don't have such worries. They get everything they want and live in unimaginable luxury. You can expect, among other things, a girl who got her own amusement park for her birthday, a boy who even became a millionaire himself, and probably the most spoiled 12-year-old in the world. So, stay tuned here at Wonderlane. We start with the 14-year-old Isabella Barrett from the USA. Isabella became a star as a young child. From the age of 4, she modeled and participated in beauty contests. At 6, she founded her own jewelry and fashion line, Glitzy Girl, together with her mother, and became a millionaire. At the age of only 10, Isabella could already look back on the 55 beauty contests she won, including the title of Little Miss America. And meanwhile, the young self-made millionaire is also active as a singer. Of course, she also enjoys her wealth and shares her luxurious lifestyle with her more than 21,000 YouTube followers. For example, Isabella shops in the most exclusive boutiques and doesn't have to pay attention to the price of even the most expensive shoes and tops. Instead, she simply buys what she wants. Trips to the Hamptons, a vacation area for the super rich in New York, are also part of Isabella's everyday life. Here, she relaxes on her private yacht and tans in the sun to take a break from her life as a young businesswoman. We continue with Stormy Webster, the daughter of Kylie Jenner. It should be clear that Stormy, as the child of such a famous mother, does not exactly have to grow up in poverty. Nevertheless, it is impressive how luxurious the life of the 3-year-old girl is. Stormy, who has already appeared on the covers of the famous magazines Vogue and Harper's Bazaar, is already enthusiastic about makeup at such a young age. That's why her mother even dedicated her own makeup collection, where the lipsticks and other ingredients already bore the love for her child in their names, and are called, for example, Love Without Borders, or Angels on Earth. Stormy Webster also experiences this boundless love every day. She gets every luxury you can imagine, and wears exclusive jewelry and expensive clothes even as a toddler. The little girl even owns a Chanel handbag. The most spectacular are probably the parties that her mother organizes for Stormy. On 2 of her children's birthdays, entire amusement parks were set up especially for Stormy, called Stormy World. Visitors could enter Stormy's world through the open mouth of a giant replica of Stormy's head, and here they were greeted by a complete indoor amusement park with rooms designed in the style of the films Frozen or Trolls, and numerous attractions, games, and employees in costume. Stormy is probably the only child in the world who had her own amusement park, and that even several times. Now, we come to Colin Stangle from Florida in the USA. Colin is only 14 years old, but already a successful entrepreneur and millionaire. When he was 12, he wanted to buy Yeezy Beluga Boost 350 sneakers, but didn't have the money. However, at that time, he realized how incredibly desirable certain sneakers are, and how much money you can make with them. So, he borrowed $5,000 and started his own business called Sneaker Brats, which buys the rarest and most expensive sneakers in the world and then sells them for profit. Within no time, his business went through the roof, and famous rappers and other celebrities started buying from him. Colin has been living his dream ever since, and now owns a sneaker and car collection worth $20 million. His room is stacked with valuable collectibles and rarities that any sneaker fan would be jealous of. And his closet features brands like Supreme, Louis Vuitton, Off-White, and Supreme. Expensive watches and exclusive jewelry are also part of the 14-year-old's everyday life, and even several luxury cars, including a Lamborghini, now belong to Colin, although he's not allowed to drive them at his age. The story continues with the 12-year-old Romy McCarthy, Romy from London. Romy's mother may not earn huge sums as a teacher, but because she used to be very successful in the fashion world, she can fulfill her daughter's every material wish. And the 12-year-old takes full advantage of this. The music-loving Romy owns, among other things, a violin worth £5,000 and a piano worth £3,000. And her music lessons cost her mother several £100s a week. But even greater than her love of music is Romy's love of handbags. The 12-year-old owns over 50 pieces from luxury brands such as Louis Vuitton and Chanel, some costing several £1,000s. Although her mother spoils the only child so much, Romy is not satisfied with what she has. Romy constantly wants to shop for new clothes and always manages to soften her mother to fulfill her every wish. Romy's mother, however, does not see this as a problem because she believes that Romy is always grateful for everything and is therefore in no way spoiled. Let's move on to the 15-year-old Donald Doer, a social media star from the USA who runs a YouTube channel under the name Donald with over 600,000 subscribers. Donald has an estimated fortune of $1.2 million and lives a luxurious lifestyle. This includes a Ferrari worth $310,000 or a Bugatti Veyron for an incredible $1 million. In addition, Donald also owns 2 houses, which are equipped with all imaginable amenities. Here, you will find an exclusive interior, Donald's private cinema, where he watches movies with his friends, and, of course, his collection of luxury clothing, expensive jewelry and watches, and limited edition shoes. Outside, of course, Donald has his own pool to cool off, but his own tennis court, where the teenager keeps fit, is also part of his estate. Next on our list is the 17-year-old Nicolette Gray, who became known as the most spoiled teenager in the USA. This is because Nicolette burst into tears on a talk show. The reason for her tears was that her parents cut her allowance from $5,000 a month to only $1,000. Nicolette is used to such great luxury that she couldn't imagine coping with just $1,000 a month. Actually though, she has no reason to cry. The 17-year-old lives in her own luxurious villa with 4 floors and 200 square meters of living space in the exclusive residential area of West Beverly Hills. The value of the house alone is worth $1.4 million. But that's not all. Nicolette also drives a fancy white Mercedes G-Wagon worth $200,000 and owns handbags and designer clothes that are also worth hundreds of thousands of dollars combined. After waking up, the girl usually has breakfast delivered, gets ready, and then goes on a shopping spree. She also spends her day sharing her luxurious life with her more than 1.3 million followers on YouTube, earning a little extra money for herself through advertising. Finally, we would like to introduce you to Daniellynn Birkhead, the daughter of photographer Larry Birkhead and the late model Anna Nicole Smith. Daniellynn grew up in a house with a living space of almost 1,000 square meters, and materially, she lacked nothing. For example, her nursery was completely decorated in the style of Disney's Peter Pan, and even the ceiling was painted to match. She was given all the clothes she wanted and owns lots of toys. She also received violin lessons, and her single father always made sure that she lacked for nothing. Meanwhile, Daniellynn Birkhead is 14 years old and has an estimated fortune of $3 million. Daniellynn has been working as a model since she was 6 years old and was already as professional as her mother on the set. Currently, she can be seen mainly in the American reality TV. Despite her wealth, she lives a pretty normal teenage life and goes to school like everyone else. Together with her father, she also travels around the country and visits places that were important to her mother. This way, she wants to get to know her better, since Anna had to leave when Daniellynn was only 5 months old. That's it with the life of the richest children. Write us in the comments with which of the children you would like to swap for a day. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give us a like and leave a subscription. Until next time, here at Wonderlane.